All right, have and have not fans. The theory topic of this video is about will Candace be pregnant in the show because Tinka Sumter, I hope I pronounced that right, Tinka Sumter is actually pregnant in real life. That could explain a few things in terms of why Candace hasn't been really doing a lot in terms of physical movement this season. Well, towards the end. Where you notice her sitting down a lot, like in bed, in the car, because she might have been, starting to get pregnant. And then we've seen her at a couple of like charity events, and I've seen on Instagram and whatnot, where she is pregnant. Very, still beautiful. I mean, literally, just still, she knows she looks amazing. And honestly, what the question is, will that be written into the show? If that were to happen, there would be a couple of plot holes. If I'm not mistaken, the Haves and the Have-Nots has already filmed either the first half or all of season 5, if I'm not mistaken, because typically, if I'm not mistaken, off the way things go, typically, cast members, Tyler Perry, and even Oprah sometimes post like little clips, videos, behind the scene footage while they're filming, and typically they're filming a new season during the kind of like the gap between, like the part 1 of season 2 and then the premiere of part 2 of season 2. Kind of like whenever they're filming something, they're filming another season while we're about to get the second half of the season that we're in, kind of like that. So pretty much they filmed the seasons ahead of time, obviously. Now, it has been, I have been talking about this with some fans on my YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook about this. And it would kind of make sense when you think about it. And the suspects would be, I'd say about 3 solid suspects. Jim Cryer, but I think that's been debunked given the fact that, she pretended to be pregnant by Jim to get more money. But Mama Rose did if I'm not mistaken, a few different methods of pregnancy tests, because remember that she was about to have force Candace into an abortion, but it turns out she really wasn't pregnant. She was lying. The other 2 suspects would obviously be Oscar, Brandon, Jonathan, whatever her name is, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. I mean, they did have a few sexual encounters. I'm not sure if they used a condom, like when she joined the Mile High Club on his private jet, or when they were in the Sarandon Hotel, when they were about to have sex, but then Hannah came knocking at the door looking for Benny. And let's see here. Yeah, there are a few times they did it. Like, if I'm not mistaken, when they went to New York. Yeah, when he went on that business trip. I think they had sex there in the hotel room. So, Oscar could be the father, but I don't think so, because in terms of plot, those 2 were through, obviously, because Candace found out it wasn't even real to begin with. The third and most likely suspect would be Warlock, given the number of times he forced himself on Candace. Think about it this way. We saw Benny get Quincy out of jail because of what Quincy did to his mom, which was slap her in the face. And he literally said he was going to kill Warlock for what he did to Candace, but Mitch stopped him, saying that he's in jail. But given the fact, I don't know. It depends on how much money it would cost to get him out of jail. What if Benny puts up the money? Well, I kind of don't want to see that happen, because I feel like that plot device has been overused, such as Benny being... I feel like Benny went through more vehicles than love interests when you think about it. Like, think of it this way. You had Darcy, the nice girl from church. You had the nurse at the hospital who was looking after him when he was in a coma, who was apparently somebody that knew him like high school. He got her phone number. Move on to Veronica. But I still don't count that as a relationship. More like a cougar, young man kind of situation, where she was literally just using him. But then you look at the vehicles he went through, such as, well, technically he didn't wreck it, but Candace's car, which had the drugs planted, which, he got arrested. Then you have, let's see, the car, the car that he bought from Erica, who got it from Candace, who bought it for Hannah, because she knew that if she tried to give Hannah the car, she wouldn't take it because she knew it was dirty money. So basically, the $500 car that he purchased from Erica to give to Hannah, he wrecked that while fighting. Well, excuse me, when Quincy got out of the strip club, beat him down. Then they were both in jail. Then you had the truck from the tow yard, which he rigged in terms of like the safety belt on Quincy's side of the car, well, truck. When they got in the wreck, he would have been, injured when he beat his ass, which got him in jail. So when Benny bailed him out, he bailed him out to get him in the truck, which led to the accident, the fight with the drugs he got from Warlock to put Quincy back in jail. That's a mouthful. Sorry about that. That's definitely a mouthful. So Quincy, of course, got the drugs off him in time for the cops to get there. So because Benny bailed him out. So that's why I don't want Benny to bail out Warlock, which will lead to something else, because that plot's been used over. So we really get to the point in the story where you really got to think about what could happen based off what we have seen so far. And the pregnancy, I think Warlock would have to be released in some way for it to actually mean something. Like, let's say Benny is about to kill Warlock, but then Candace jumps in. No, he's the father of the child I'm carrying. I don't know. Maybe. Well, I will say this much. Maybe if Candace does have a child by Warlock or Oscar, whoever it is, maybe she'll do right by this child. It would be like a way of, I guess you could say, correcting the mistake she made with Quincy Jr. by raising the child right. I don't know. I feel like that could be an interesting plot device. But again, it goes back to the whole, how time moves slowly and the haves and the have-nots. Like the pregnancy will have to be believable. So with that being said, do you think that Tika's pregnancy in real life will somehow be written into the show? If so, who do you think the father is? Jim, Oscar, or the most likely the main obvious choice being Warlock? So again, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you on the next video.